You probably heard about this smartphone, the $129 smartphone, as some used to call it. Well, not anymore. I've got it here with me and we're gonna check it out. Hi, my name is Alex and today we'll have a look at the Poco M3. We will see how good it is and if it's worth getting one in 2021. Just a short info if you're not aware of this brand. Poco used to be under the Xiaomi umbrella and now they went independent. Well, sort of. Poco is well known for producing good value for money smartphones in the budget and mid-range areas. They released in the market on August 2018 the famous Poco phone F1, which was a flagship killer, then the F2 and some other more. Now they've released in the market the latest phone, which is the M3, which we're gonna check today, and it was released on 27 November 2020. On paper it has good specs, but can it cope in 2021? Can this be the best budget smartphone? The Poco M3 comes in this yellow color box, which I really like. Inside the box we have a smaller one with the SIM ejector tool, the user guide, the warranty card and a clear jelly case. Then we have the Poco M3 itself, which we will have a look at later. Next we have the 22-watt charger and the USB Type-C charging cable. Let's get the phone and take off the plastic wrap. Now we can see this entry-level smartphone, which looks really good for the price. The back is made of plastic with rough leathery texture that offers a good grip and hide any fingerprints. At the top it has the camera setup and the logo, both covered by glossy plastic. The logo is quite big and bold. Personally, I like minimal, plain, subtle design when it comes to the back of the phone, but probably Poco's target is young people. Gosh, I feel old. As this is an entry-level smartphone, you would not expect it to have a fingerprint reader or a dual speaker or even a headphone jack, right? But what do you think of dual SIM card slot and a micro SD card slot? Boom! On one side it has the volume rocker and the power button that can be used as a fingerprint reader. These are easily identified due to their shape and size. On the other side it has the slot for the SIM cards and for the micro SD card. At the top it has the secondary speaker, the headphone jack and the infrared module, and at the bottom it has the Type-C charging port, the microphone and the primary speaker. Moving to the front, it has a beautiful and big 6.53-inch IPS LCD display with a 1080p resolution, 400 nits brightness, 60Hz refresh rate and cornering Gorilla Glass 3. It has a flat display which I really like. There are top bezel and bottom chin and the aspect ratio is 19.5 by 9. There also is a front-facing camera, but we will talk about it a bit later. So nothing too fancy from this smartphone in terms of display. It is quite big compared to my S10 Plus, which is great for watching videos and playing games. Can also be used for productivity when we have two apps open at the same time. In terms of interior hardware, this smartphone is packed with a Snapdragon 662 chipset, a lower mid-range chip released in 2019, 4GB RAM and 128GB storage, which can be extended up to 512GB via the micro SD card. Probably the biggest selling point is the battery. It has a massive 6000 mAh battery fitted in here, whilst other smartphones of this size barely have at least 4000 mAh batteries. Combined with the 60Hz display and the Snapdragon 662 processor, the battery can easily last for 2 days in normal use. The Poco M3 has 3 cameras set up. The main one has 48 megapixels and f1.8, the second one has 2 megapixel and f2.4 and it is used as a macro camera. And the third one has 2 megapixel and f2.4 and it is a depth sensor. When taking pictures in Pro mode, it allows you to shoot at full 48 megapixel and save pictures in RAW. It doesn't have a wide angle lens, which is a bit disappointing as I would rather go for that one instead of the macro lens. But here are some samples so you can make an idea of what these cameras can do. The pictures taken with the main camera are full of details thanks to the 48 megapixel sensor. It does the job just fine. When it comes to the portrait mode, there is some depth of field provided by the third camera. The selfie camera also does an okay job. There is a medium to low level of details and some visible noise. It records at the maximum resolution of 1080p HD at 30 frames per second, and the slow-mo is set at 720p and 120 fps, so there is no 4K video. Just by looking at the video you can see that the contrast and colors are okay, but the level of details is medium and so is the dynamic range. Unfortunately there is no image stabilization, so if you use this smartphone to point and shoot, you will need a gimbal. What you can see now is the test of the rear main camera, and this is the quality of the sound. Let me know in the comment section below how it sounds and if this quality can be used for filming YouTube videos. Now I switch to the front-facing camera and the integrated microphone. It has a decent quality that can easily be used for video conferences or video calls, now that a big chunk of the population works from home. This is an 8 megapixel camera and f2.1, which also records at the maximum resolution of 1080p and 30 frames per second. Let me know, is this enough to do TikTok videos? For software, Poco M3 runs on Android 10 with a custom MIUI 12 interface similar to all the Xiaomi smartphones. It is a clean interface, and if you don't like it, there are loads of Android launchers that can be installed and used. I did mention that the Poco M3 is also known as the $129 smartphone. Well, not anymore. Why? Because that price was for the pre-order or the early bird, and then it went back to the normal price of $169 or even higher. There are two versions, the 64GB version and the 128GB version. Mine is the 128 version and I've got it from GearBest for £125 or $169. Yes, it was an offer and I paid exactly the same price as for the 64GB version. I will leave the link in the description below, go check it out. I bet that you didn't expect this smartphone to be yellow, right? Well, if you don't like Bumblebee, then you can go for the other two options, which are black and blue. The Poco M3 is a great entry-level smartphone and does what you want a smartphone to do. There are things that it does very well, like the 6000 mAh battery, the 48 megapixel camera and the 6.53-inch display, and there are things that it does just okay, like the 1080p video, the 60Hz refresh rate display, the Snapdragon 662 processor and the 4GB of RAM. Don't get me wrong, the chipset combined with the 60Hz display and with the massive battery is a great combo. Well, it is not a flagship, but what do you expect for $169? Now, how does it stand in terms of productivity and daily use? You know what, I will switch over to this smartphone for the next month and see how it copes with all the tasks that I have to do daily. If you want to see the outcome, you can subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified when the video is out. Thanks for watching this video, hit the like button if so, and I'll see you in the next one.